Let me show you how I make these delicious Italian rainbow cookies.
What's up guys, I'm Diespo and today we are going to make one of my favorite Christmas cookies, or really I guess like any time of the year cookies, rainbow cookies. Now you may have also heard these called tri-colored cookies, 7-layer cookies. These are all just different names for the same delicious ass cookie, okay? Now, these are called Italian rainbow cookies. They are not invented in Italy. They were invented in New York by Italian immigrants that came here, were missing home, and decided to make a cookie that looked like the Italian flag. Right? So that's why you have the green, the white, and the red layers on the inside. So listen, this cookie has a lot of steps, okay? We have things going on. We're gonna be baking little cakes, because if you did not know, a rainbow cookie is really just like sponge cakes that are all mushed together and it becomes beautiful, okay? But we're gonna be baking those today and then coming back tomorrow to do the chocolate on the top and the bottom. So let's just get right into what we need, okay? We're gonna be using flour and salt. We're also gonna be using eggs that we've separated into the yolks and the whites. We're also using sugar, unsalted butter. We're gonna be using almond paste. This is a key element to these cookies to give it that almondy flavor. In the same notion, you will be using almond extract. And while some recipes only use almond extract, I also like to put in a little bit of vanilla. I like pizzazz, okay? So we're doing a little bit of that. Then we are going to be using two type of jams. Some people only do one, so they'll do like apricot in the center of each layer. I'll show you all that later, but I'm doing both because I like both and that's what we're doing. Then I also have chocolate that will be melting down tomorrow so that we could put the chocolate on the top and the bottom, okay? That's it. So let's just get right into it. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is break up the almond paste. Now, I have tried it before where you put it into the actual mixer and you break it up in there. But I find that the almond paste still has like kind of big chunks in it that later on, once you bake the cakes, you could see it in the cakes. And I don't like that. So I do an extra step where I will break it up with sugar in a food processor. And I feel like that just helps so much more. So that's what we do, okay? Now listen, the craziest thing about rainbows for me personally is that I am allergic to tree nuts, but for some reason, I've had these my whole life and it's been completely fine. I don't know. I think maybe when they're cooked, because I can also have like Linzer cookies or cookies that are made with almond flour and they're fine, but I can't eat a handful of almonds. I don't know. It's funny. It's weird. Anyway, so you're gonna be taking your almond paste and literally I just break it up into little pieces like this. I toss it in here. And then we have a cup of sugar here. This is a whole cup. I'm only gonna be taking out a quarter of a cup, which I will be using later when I whip the egg whites. Then the rest of it, you're gonna dump right in here and we're gonna process it. Now this is gonna get a little bit loud, so close your ears, okay? Okay, so as you can see, this broke up the almond paste really, really well. So once we bake the cakes later, we're not going to have to deal with like the weird big chunks of it because I don't like it, okay? So yes, that took a second, but it's a second that's worth it, okay? Boom. Okay, so now we're just gonna set this baby aside and we are going to get right into whipping the egg whites. Now you're just trying to form soft peaks here. You don't need to make them like super stiff. We're not making a meringue, nothing too crazy. Soft peaks are perfect. So I have egg whites in here. I'm literally just going to add that quarter of a cup of sugar that we had earlier and we're just gonna whip it up. That's it. Now for this, I do start it on stir and I kind of just let it work up a little bit and then we increase it and then I'll show you what it looks like when we're there.
Okay, so making your soft peaks will only take about 3 to 5 minutes, but this is what it's gonna look like when you're there.
Okay, so now that the eggs have been whipped, we are going to literally just swap out the bowls. This is where having multiple mixing bowls is kind of nice. But if you don't have an extra one, that's totally fine. Literally just put all of this egg white into another bowl and we'll be using it later. This is all going to make sense as we do it, okay? Right now you're gonna be like, what? But it's fine, I promise. Just listen. So we're gonna put this aside. Perfect. And now we are going to start the actual batter. So I'm putting my second bowl here. So what I'm going to be doing is adding in the almond and sugar mixture right into your bowl. And then I'm also gonna be tossing in all of the butter. So we're just gonna put all that in and then we are going to mix it until it's nice and creamy and beautiful. I'll show you what it looks like when we're there.
When starting this, you're gonna wanna have the mixer on the lowest setting and then increase it as you go so you don't make a huge mess. Make sure you stop it in the middle to scrape down the sides and then you'll incorporate the eggs.
So now that the eggs have been incorporated, I am going to just literally do the sides real nice and then I'm going to add the extracts. For the vanilla, I just eyeball it because it's not really a big deal. Delicious. But for the almond extract, I do measure it out because it can be a little bit strong. It could be a little bit overpowering if you do too much, so I don't want to do too much. So I'm measuring out exactly a teaspoon and then popping it right in. Now I'm just gonna literally mix this together for like 2 seconds, and then I'm gonna start adding the flour. As usual, I like to do just a little bit at a time so that I don't dump it all in and then have it fly everywhere. So I put a little bit at a time, start the mixer on low, and then increase it as I go so that it doesn't make a mess, okay? It doesn't make a mess.
When adding the flour, I usually do it in about like 3 to 4 different sections, and then I mix it together, scrape down the sides, add the next section, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, so now that all of the flour is incorporated, we're going to be adding those egg whites that we mixed earlier into here. This is just gonna help us make a lighter batter. It's gonna be gorgeous. Stop it. Get this out of the way. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do here is literally just take like a little bit of it, like a little spoonful. You're gonna dump it right in, and then you just stir it up so that it moistens the rest of the batter. Beautiful. And now we're gonna add in the rest. Now with this, we're not gonna stir it as vigorously. We're gonna more fold it. Like David in Schitt's Creek, right? We're folding in the cheese. Listen, don't actually put cheese in here. That's just a reference for those that get it, okay? Those that get it will get it. And now make sure also when you're doing this, as you can see, some of the bottom parts are a little bit dry. So make sure that you just get all that and incorporate it in. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, the oven is preheating now to 365 degrees. And you're also going to want to get your food coloring ready, which I don't think I mentioned before either. So I'm using both red and green food coloring. That's it. I'll show you everything once we get there. Okay, so now that this is done, we are going to divide it into 2 other bowls. So we're gonna have 3 bowls in total. I eyeball this. If you wanna get fancy, you can. You could get a scale, you could figure out how much of this there is, and then you could divide it equally into the 3 bowls. I don't have the time for that, no thank you. So I'm just gonna eyeball it and hope for the best, okay? That's what I do. So I'm gonna take this bowl. Yes, it has a little egg white in it. Guess what? It'll be fine. So I take this and I just like do my best. So I just take a big old scoop, dump it in there. Take another big old scoop, dump it in there. Then I look and I say, oh, let's take a little bit more. And I dump it in here. Where's mine? And you're just gonna do your best, okay? Just divide it as best as you can. Okay, so now I have my green and red food colorings. We are going to keep one as it is, so we're not touching it. I dub you the one we're not touching. So no, you know what? I want you to be able to see. So I dub this one the one that we're not touching. Now, when it comes to the food coloring, you could really eyeball this on what color you want. I will say for me personally, when they're too green, like when the green is way too green, it's like a deep, deep green, it just tastes weird. I think it takes on too much of the food coloring taste. I don't know. So when it's too green or it's too red, I don't like it. So I just eyeball it and I will show you exactly what I do.
Okay, so you don't want to go too nuts here. Just add a little bit, mix it around, and then assess if you want it to be a little bit more green. Then you would just add a little bit more, mix it around. The same exact thing goes for the red. I like to just add a little bit, mix it around, and then add more if I need.
Okay, so now that we have all of our colors made, I am going to try something new, okay? So let's hope that it works. Typically, these are what I use when I make my rainbow cookies. I literally have 3 of them. I've been using them, these exact same ones for years, like these exact same ones. But just kind of want to try something different and see if we could make it work a little bit better, because sometimes it could be hard to get out of these. So I am going to try my trusty USA pan. Okay, everybody knows that I love my USA pan. So I'm going to try my first cake in here just to see how it goes, just to see if it's easier to get it out. And if it doesn't work, then we're gonna go back to these ones. But why not, right? A little trial and error for my people. So I'm going to add parchment paper just to make my life a little bit easier when I pop them out later. Because this is deep, right? It's pretty deep. So I feel like I'm gonna need a little bit of help. So I'll have some going over the sides. Also, when I make these, I do each cake individually in the oven. I know it takes a little bit longer of time, but I just feel like it helps them bake easier or more evenly than if I was doing all 3 at once. Like, and then you have to, I mean, I guess you could rotate it all, but I want to do that. But if you do want to do that, by all means, do that, you know? So let's do our pink in here. Let's do our pink in here and see how that works.
Add your batter to your cake pan and then use a spatula to spread it out as best as you can. It's a little annoying, so just do your best.
Now listen, I know, as you are doing this part, you're gonna say, Dee, this is driving me crazy. And it does drive you a little bit bonkers, but I promise it's worth it. You just have to be patient and spread it out as best as you can. And you also might think, this is also really thin. It's okay, because remember, it's gonna be 3 different little cakes stacked on top of each other with jam in the middle. So it's gonna be thicker than you realize once everything is all said and done and we put everything together. I promise, you just gotta trust me, okay? I'm not gonna steer you wrong, not when it comes to rainbow cookies. It is helpful here to have one of these smaller little, I forget what, little spatula guys, little cake spatula, whatever. It's nice to have the small one. I do have the long one too, but it's like so hard to maneuver when you're trying to get into like the little corners here. So definitely having one of these guys is helpful. So far, I will tell you, I like my original system a little bit better. But that's because my original system, which is in here, I don't use parchment paper. Parchment paper is making me a little bit crazy right now, but I feel like it's gonna be okay in the end. I feel like it's gonna be okay in the end. See, it's all working out. I just had to be a little bit patient. Which, listen, that's not my strong suit, okay? I'm not the most patient person in the world, but for some reason, rainbows, I could be a little bit patient. Okay, so now these are gonna go into our 365-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Just check on them. You just want it to be set in the middle, okay? But not like super dry or overcooked or anything like that. So 10 to 12 minutes, check on it at 10, see how it is. So I'll be back so we could see if we like this system, okay? Let's do it. Okay, so to update you, I do like how it's baking so far, the red one, okay? So I already made a green one. I have 2 of the 9x13 USA pans, so I'm just gonna do it. We're just doing it. Okay, so my little sponge cakes have all baked, and now we are going to assemble the cookies, or at least the first part of the cookies, okay? So this was my first time, like I said, trying it with my USA pans, but I kind of like it. Look, she's just popping out easy peasy, so not a big deal, okay? Not a big deal. I think I might do it this way from now on. Anyways, let's get this set up. So those are gonna sit back there as we get our first cake on. So I have another baking sheet that I have put a parchment little paper down on, and this is where we're going to layer the cakes. We're gonna put our jam on, the whole thing, and then this is going to sit in the fridge overnight, but we'll get to that. So first things first, we're gonna do our pink layer. Now, when you're making rainbow cookies, traditionally you wanna do green, white, red, or red, whatever it is, have the white in the middle, okay? That's all that you need to know. So I'm gonna take our first little cake here, and I'm going to just take my other pan, flip it right on top, just to make my life a little bit easier. And then I'm gonna flip her over. Did you see that? We just did a little quick flip, nothing crazy. Okay, so now our first cake layer is on the pan, and the next thing that we're going to do is put the jam. Now, like I said earlier, I do 2 different ones. So I do both the raspberry and the apricot. You could do one or the other. Traditionally, it's the apricot, but some people do only raspberry. Again, I like to do both because I think that it's fun, okay? You're only gonna need about 1/4 cup per layer, or you could do more if you want to. I like a thin layer, but that's really up to you on what you wanna do. So I'm gonna get 1/4 cup of this, and I'm going to pop it in the microwave for about 30 seconds, just so that it loosens up and makes it a little bit easier to spread. So let's do that. Okay, now that the raspberry layer is on, we're gonna grab our white cake and we're gonna put that on top. Just pulled it out of there, and I literally just have the cake here. I'm gonna put it right on top. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the apricot. I'm going to warm it up in the microwave for 15 seconds, put this on top, and then I'm going to put the green layer on top, and then I'll tell you the rest. Okay, so now that all the layers are done, we are going to wrap this. I'm gonna put plastic wrap all over this baby. Okay, so I wrap her in plastic wrap, and then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put another baking sheet on top of her. Let me show you. I take this little guy, I put it right on top of her. So now it's like this, right? It's all smushed. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge with just a bunch of jars on top. So I literally just normally use a bunch of tomato cans, like 4 or 5, and I put them on top. And then I stick it in the fridge. Now she's gonna sit in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow morning I will do the chocolate. We'll slice them, we'll eat them all. It's gonna be a whole thing, okay? So I will see you then. Good morning. Okay, so our cake sat overnight in the fridge. And now we are going to get all the chocolate ready so that we can put it on the top and the bottom. What I'm gonna do is just unwrap this baby, and then we're gonna get our chocolate ready. Perfetto. Okay. So what I have here is a cup of dark chocolate chips. I'm going to remove maybe like a couple of tablespoons of them. And that's because we want to temper the chocolate, right? Because when you're holding the little rainbow cookie, it can melt easier, right? And get all over your hands. And nobody wants it. You don't want the mess. So in order to help that, we're going to temper it a little bit. So I'm going to pop it into the microwave. We're going to do 20-second bursts. And you're just gonna kind of keep stirring it until it's melted. Once it's melted, we're gonna seed it, which means we're going to add the chocolate chips that we did not initially melt. And we're just gonna stir that in until those melt. And then we're gonna pop it back into the microwave for just 20 seconds. So bring it back up to temperature a bit, and then that's it. And then we're gonna, boom, put it on our cake, put it on our cookies. All right, so let's just start melting it. Okay, so now that the chocolate is on it, what we are going to do before we stick it in the fridge is we're going to score it. This is actually a tip that I learned from one of my website commenters, website reviewers. But anyways, a comment on my rainbow cookies was that to help you cut them later, you could score it. So we're just going to make our little marks now while the chocolate's still easy to finagle, just to make cutting later easier. And then after we do that, we're gonna pop this into the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And then once the 30 minutes are up, we're gonna flip this and we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side. And then we're gonna stick it in the fridge for about an hour before we cut it. Okay, now both sides have the chocolate. I do want to mention you obviously only have to score one side because you're just doing the cuts on one side, and it would be impossible to get it correct on the other side anyway, okay? So just score the initial side and then put the chocolate on this side. We're sticking it back in the fridge for about an hour and then we'll cut them. Okay, now that these cookies have chilled for a couple of hours, we are going to cut them. Now, I just wanted to show you that I do use a serrated knife for this. I just find it helpful when I am cutting through the chocolate to like shimmy shake back and forth a little bit. Now, if you find it difficult to cut through, although with the scoring, it should be fine. But if you have an issue, you could get some boiling water, stick it in a little pot or like a little cup. I use my French press guy and I let my knife sit in there so that it could get warm and then it helps you get through the chocolate. However, this little trick of scoring it should be perfect. So we are going to cut these and then I will show you what they look like at the end. Okay, I mean, look at these. They're beautiful. Stop it. Hold on. Look at that. So look, now that we tempered the chocolate, it doesn't like come off in your hands when you're holding it. If you hold it long enough, sure. But when you just pick it up, it's going to be perfect. Okay, ready? That is so good. And see, I also just want to show you. So if you thought the cakes were really, really thin as we were spreading them out, it all works out. See? It all works out because they smush together and they become my favorite cookie in the world. Okay, that's it. Whoop. Thank you. Follow along for the next videos. Oh, if you want the recipe, I am going to link it in the description. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.